the dictionary definition of humor is that it's a comic, absurd, or incongruous quality causing amusement. Which means that, because a lot of times people think humor and they initially first think comedy. They think stand-up. They think jokes. They think making someone laugh and that you have to try to be funny. And so they assume that humor in the workplace means I got to start telling jokes in the workplace. And it's like, that's not necessarily the case. That's the first part. That's the comedic component of it. Like you said, other people think of, oh, that means silly. That means like I got to dance and always have a super big smile on my face and I got to be wacky and all that kind of stuff. And that might fit under that absurd kind of component of humor. But then it's also something incongruous, just something a little bit different, with again being that the goal is to cause amusement. So it's not necessarily about making things funny, but rather about doing things a little bit differently to try to make them a little bit more fun. And so when it comes to the workplace, the bar for what is humorous is so incredibly low because everyone is so serious all the time, because everything is so stark, that like just by doing something a little bit different, you automatically get people to pay attention a little bit more. So for example, one of the first things that I started doing was just adding jokes to the ends of my emails, like little wordplay, fun things that I thought was comedic, right? So in some ways that's comedic, but it's also a little bit incongruous because people didn't expect it, right? I have this long status report. At the bottom, it says PS, and then there's some type of like joke or quotation or meme or whatever it is. And that was one of my first entries into it. And I remember doing that for a few months, always a little bit worried that I was going to offend someone by using humor. And after a few months of doing that, I sent out an email and I went to lunch and I came back and I had a bunch of replies to that email. And I was like, oh no, like I offended someone. Maybe the joke that I put was inappropriate, or someone like started to say like, this isn't professional or whatever. And it turns out I had offended people because I had forgotten to include a joke. And so all of the responses were like, hey, where was this week's joke? Or, hey, are you still doing the joke? Or, hey, I only read this because of the joke.
I don't know what this report is about,
Right.
but
I don't care about this,
it.
but I'm at least opening it because of that.